Welcome, everybody. I hope that everyone joins this call. Good to see you all again. Oh, I see some familiar people. Hello, hello. I'll give everybody a minute to get here. Hey, Jen. One of my old clients is here. Very nice. Can everybody hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Good. Okay. Two more minutes, then we'll get started. Okay. So some of you I've seen definitely before in our past calls. I see a lot of new names too, which is cool. Welcome if this is your first one.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask that everyone keeps their self muted until we do the question time at the end, just so if there's outside noise, it won't be interrupting anyone's ability to hear me talking. So if you're first time, my name's Lisa. I'm the nutritionist here at Raw Generation, and I'd also like to introduce you to Katarina. If you want to pop on a second, Kat, she's my assistant here. And she manages the Facebook group. So if you're ever on the Facebook group and doing the cleanse challenges and stuff with her, she is in charge of that. So you probably, if you're answering questions over there, she's answering them. And if now, if you were here, if you're part of the intermittent fasting trial group from last week, give me a thumbs up here. Or like a little note that I know that you're part of that group. 1, 2. Okay, so we have a couple. Great. Nice. Okay, I recognize your names. Yes. Good. I'm glad you're here. Do you guys finish on this? This is your last week, right? You finish on Sunday? We were just trying to figure it out. I have to go back and look when we first started, but I think this is the last week. Is that correct? Yes. Thank you for all these thumbs up. Look at you guys. Okay. All right. So we can talk about that at the end if you want to. But for now, I'll do some talking first, and then how we work is that I kind of give you the majority of the call ends up being question and answer time at the end, because a lot of people have questions about cleanses or products or just nutrition in general. So whatever I can answer, I answer. But I start kind of with whatever my topic of the month is. And this month it's all about what's new here at Raw Gen, because we have quite a few new products that they kind of launched around like the New Year's and Christmas time or before. So like a lot of them got lost in the shuffle. Maybe you didn't hear about them. It's kind of our higher cleansing time. But I wanted to just kind of talk to you about them. If you haven't seen them, or maybe you have seen them and have questions about them. One of our newest things is our cleanse for 2. So I don't know if you've seen that or not, but that's our regular skinny cleanse, low sugar cleanse, or protein cleanse. So we have 3 cleanses here if you're not familiar. They all have different options. And the cleanse for 2 allows you to cleanse with a partner and save money at the same time. So like it's basically taking 2 5-day cleanses and you're both cleansing together. Which is the equivalent of, like I say, a 10-day cleanse, for example, but you're saving $55 by doing it as a cleanse for 2. It's just a promotion that we do for cleansing with a partner. And what we found is that when people cleanse with someone else, we've gotten review after review to solidify this, they do better. You know, you get better results. You have someone to talk to. You have accountability. You kind of maybe make a recipe together, a cleanse recipe together or something, and it just makes it easier, like a better experience for people that are afraid to cleanse or just do better with support, kind of like a Weight Watchers group, but it's basically group support. And so we have the Facebook group too, so that's something that we just recently launched the last couple months, and we've been doing so well. People are really loving it. So if you haven't ever thought of that, there's that. We have our brand new intermittent fasting fuel pack. So some of you have already been trying that because you are part of the test group. If you haven't tried it, last month, when we had this meeting, I was talking about the trial group and invited anyone on the call last month to join the trial group, and quite a few, I think about 20 people from the group joined. So I ended up with a pretty large test group for that, and they're just finishing up this week with it. So basically, it's if you have been an intermittent faster in the past, if you've ever tried intermittent fasting, any type of fasting, it could be one meal a day, the 16-18 method. There's all different types of intermittent fasting. People do all kinds of different protocols. It's meant to work with any of them. So it works with any protocol that you do. It's basically it's support. It's product supports. Actually, I have some. I brought them over here to show you guys in case you hadn't seen them. So it's you're in your eating window. You start with our Craving Crusher, which is also one of our new products. I don't know about you guys, but I love these little bottles. I've been using these since I started here, and now I love them. So this is our 4-ounce shot Craving Crusher, and it's called a Craving Crusher because dark leafy greens actually curb your cravings. So I don't know if you're familiar with that or not, but chlorophyll actually chemically changes your cravings and eliminates your cravings. So if your body is craving salty foods, salty, crunchy foods, that means you're deficient in chlorophyll. And if your body is craving sweet candies or desserts, it means you're deficient in fresh fruit. So that's what your body's telling you. We don't do that. We grab an Oreo or we grab a bag of Doritos. We don't think to grab a salad or an apple. But the reality of it is when you have those intense cravings that often make us mess up our weight loss goals or our health goals, we end up grabbing the wrong foods because of these cravings. We cave into the cravings. We're deficient in something. So the craving crusher is packed with chlorophyll and fruit, but it does not taste green. It's not one of those like super. It is very green, but we have it kind of covered with some apple and cranberry, so that it tastes actually very pleasant, like an apple cran juice. But it's packed with what I put in there: kale, spinach, Swiss chard. I think I don't remember. I made this a while ago. Kale, spinach, Swiss chard. Yeah. So nice dark leafy greens that you probably wouldn't eat that much of in a salad. Even if you did have a salad, we're not able to physically chew and masticate our food well enough to get the full benefit out of it. As time has, unless you're eating very slowly and very deliberately, which most people don't, that I have found. If you're just chewing a salad a few bites and swallowing it, you're not totally breaking down those cell walls. You're not getting the full benefit of that chlorophyll and those nutrients. So when you juice or blend greens, you get much more bang for your buck, and you also get more volume than you would normally be able to eat in a large salad. So we put them in juice form and smoothie form. We have both here. And when I had a nutrition practice, well, I still do, but when I was doing my nutrition practice full time, the very first thing I recommended to every single one of my clients was to make large green smoothies every day. I feel like smoothies are easier to make at home than juicing is. We obviously specialize in juices because that's what people don't want to make themselves. Juicing is a pain in the neck to do at home. But smoothies are not that hard to make at home if you do want to get a blender out and do all the meal prep and shopping and stuff, if you're that kind of person. And you can still get a great amount of chlorophyll through homemade smoothies. But for juicing sake, we do it in this craving crusher. So this is the first thing I recommend you have in your eating window if you're intermittent fasting. This is also available just as like a 60 pack or in the Build-A-Box separately. So if you just want to like add it to one of your orders, you could do that. You don't have to have it in the confines of the intermittent fasting pack. You could just have it by itself. And you can just do one a day or multiple times a day. So if you're a person that struggles with cravings a lot and you want to try to make them better, you could do it in the morning, afternoon, and evening. You could do one a day. You could do it however you need. So there's no limit with it. And you can also do it with large green juices too. Same kind of a thing, but this is actually specifically designed for that purpose. So in the confines of the intermittent fasting fuel pack, this is the first thing you have in your eating window. Then you eat. We give you no kinds of we do give you guidelines about healthy options to have in your eating window. The kind of guidelines I would give a client, how to prepare your meals, and there's recipes included and healthy swaps included that come directly from me to you guys. But we don't tell you what to eat per se or how to eat. You do whatever you normally would do, and you just add these products into your regimen. So the next thing you would be having, if you're following along with our path there, is the Skinny Boost. So this is what you'd be having before your largest meal of the day. These are also available by themselves in the Build-A-Box or in a 60 pack, and they're also part of our Stay Skinny Method program. So if you've ever done one of our skinny cleanses, the Stay Skinny Method comes directly after that to help you keep off your cleanse weight and keep losing weight. This is an integral part of that program, and so we included it also with this program because people love it. This is my favorite flavor. Everyone who's ever read the emails knows this is my very favorite flavor that we make, but it also is really, really effective. The reason why it's so effective is because it's very high in enzymes. Natural enzymes. So basically, if you've ever heard of digestive enzyme pills, and people take those before they eat lots of times to help bloating, chronic stomach problems, like people that suffer with IBS and things, they'll take these digestive enzymes. And that's basically the same thing in bottle form as what you'd be getting in a pill, because those pills are just bromelain or papain, which is the enzymes from a pineapple or papaya. And in this, we have primarily pineapple juice with apple, ginger, lime, and hibiscus, which is also a weight loss enhancer. So we call it our weight loss enhancer shot because it speeds metabolism and it eliminates bloating at the same time. So if you drink this 10 minutes before any heavy meal, so heavy meaning like a cooked meal or like, animal protein, or 10 minutes before, it helps to mitigate the bloat before it happens. It helps to soothe your digestion. So a common complaint that we heard, a struggle with intermittent fasting, is people overeat. They binge eat in their eating window. They end up bloated. They end up not losing weight. And this will help a little bit with that, with the bloating. Now, the last two parts of the intermittent fasting pack, we have the hunger delay. So this is chamomile tea based. And then there's also vanilla, ginger, lemon. In order to be able, this is to have during your non-eating window, so your fasting window. So like, as you know, if you're an intermittent faster, you know you're not supposed to have any real substantial calories, carbs, or sugar during that window. And so I was trying to come up with an idea of something that you could have in that window that would give you a little flavor, but also that would help delay the hunger that sets in when you're not eating. And this has a couple appetite suppressants, natural appetite suppressants in it. Vanilla is one of those, and that's in here. And chamomile tea is also one of those. And the ginger in it actually helps boost metabolism. So while you're fasting, you're helping to boost your metabolism. So now with the intermittent fasting pack, you get 2 of these with the original fuel pack, and you can have them anytime in your fasting window, and you can have them hot or cold. They're really delicious hot, like a tea. Tastes really good warmed up. There's also an option with the intermittent fasting pack for a higher protein option, and it comes with these, the vanilla meal shakes. So these have been around for a little bit longer with Argent. If you've tried them, the meal replacement packs, they're 16 grams of protein a bottle, and there's 0 protein powders or additives. It's all from fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, the protein. And this is included with the higher protein fuel pack. If you would like, you can use it one of 2 ways. You can either have it as a meal replacement during your eating window, or you can have it kind of like as a sweet treat dessert as the last thing you have during your window. And that will help sustain you over that fasting time because it's nice, has a nice balance of calories, fat, and protein to really sustain you the whole time until you eat again the next day. So that's that pack. Then what else? So we do have, like I said, the meal replacement pack. That includes this flavor and also a chocolate protein flavor. There's 2 in that pack. They're both 16 grams of protein per bottle. I think they're both delicious. They're very creamy. I've tasted a lot of the competing companies' protein shakes, and number one, they're full of junk. The list of chemicals. I want you to take any protein shake that you've seen in your house or on a store and look at the back label. You will not recognize 90% of the ingredients on the back of that label. It's chemicals, it's fillers, it's seed oils, protein powders, isolates, fillers. This has, I believe, it's 5 grams. 1, 2, yeah. Every one of our shakes has just the 5 ingredients. So we get the full protein from almonds, cashews, pumpkin seeds, and it's a delicious vanilla creamy flavor, and there's a chocolate flavor too. And lastly, we have a higher fiber gut reset. So, you know, there's a lot of fiber supplements in the market, you know, like the Metamucils and things like that. And people are used to having that kind of stuff. If you look at the ingredient labels on those, you would also be shocked. I'll tell you, I was shocked. So now I've been a nutritionist for 20 years. And I guess I never bothered to look at those because I never have used them. I've always just done fiber from fruits and vegetables. And that's what I've taught my clients. For this project, I did some research about different fiber supplements. They are so full of chemicals and junk. I just couldn't believe it. So you think you're just having like plant fiber and you're psyllium husk or something, and you're not. You're having a lot of junk. So we created a higher fiber gut reset, which is basically a line of smoothies, delicious smoothies that have higher fiber in them, also have good protein, healthy calories from carbs and fruit, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. And the reset is not so much like it's not a set way to have the smoothies. It's just you can have one every day to help reset your gut to get extra fiber. You can have multiple in a day if you want. You can do however you want to use them. But it's just a collection of higher fiber options because obviously juices are low fiber intentionally. They have the fiber stripped out. That's how you get the juice. The liquid's extracted from the fiber of a fruit or vegetable. There is still some fiber intact because there's some pulp still in the juice, very little bit. But if you're looking for having higher fiber or supplementing fiber, you can get that by just blending up the full fruit and vegetable, which is what a smoothie does. So that's juicing versus blending. And the higher fiber gut reset keeps all the fiber intact. It's blended smoothies. Okay, so now I just hit you with a whole bunch of new things, and you probably came with questions you already had. So before I say anything else, why don't you hit me with questions? So I can just see that there's some coming. So you can just unmute and ask, or you can raise a hand or however you want to do it. Oh, here, Kat just actually, if you want to look in the chat there, Katarina just posted the ingredients of Metamucil. So if you want to see for yourself what's in there. No questions for real? There's usually like a plethora of questions.
It doesn't have to be related to what Lisa was
It
saying.
No, it can be anything that you want to know. It can be related to cleansing or signature reset or any nutritional.
Hello, I have a question.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Naomi. I am doing the signature reset.
Oh, right. Emailing you, is that right, Naomi?
Yes. Thank you for the information you provided so far. And I'm trying really hard to follow all the guidelines that you've provided, including, I've given up all animal products except for half and half in my coffee.
Mhm.
And then I think I'm tracking everything you've said so far. The only question I have left is regarding grains, whole grains. Can I eat whole grains any time of day?
Yes. So I'm going to say two things to what you said. Number one, you do not have to give up all animal products unless you want to.
Yes, I know, and I do want to.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so as long as you understood that. The whole grains, yes, they can basically be had anytime during the day if they're in fact just a whole plain grain, like a whole oatmeal, barley, quinoa, rice, that kind of stuff. They're a very low fat food and a healthy carb. So you could certainly have them they're a great thing to have at lunchtime with like
Okay.
vegetables, whatever, or dinner. And you can even have that at breakfast time if you're out and you want to have oatmeal or something. I prefer personally, and I always recommend starting your day lighter than heavier. So that's not really a heavy food, but it's certainly heavier than, say, a fruit or a juice or a smoothie would be. So I think you would be better off to start your day lighter and then move into something like that. But you can have them any time and still do well. Does that make sense?
It does. Thank you.
Okay. I see questions coming in on the side, so let me read. Anne, is the vanilla protein shake the only option in the intermittent fasting package? Well, there's two options with intermittent fasting. There's the intermittent fasting fuel pack, which has the hunger delay and the 2 shots. Then there's the intermittent fasting higher protein option, which is the same 3 flavors and the vanilla protein. And yes, that's the only option that currently comes in the pack. It does not come with the chocolate at this point. Would you ever do a mixed box of Craving Crusher and Skinny Boost or a pack of less than 60? We have, to the less of 60 point, we currently cannot successfully ship less than 60 bottles without them thawing. So we have a lot of thaw testing that we do. We ship everything frozen, as you know, if you're our customer. These big bottles take a lot longer to thaw than these tiny bottles, and they thaw much faster in transit. So if we have less than a mass of 60 of these, they don't get to customers. Well, we've never sent them to customers. They don't get past our thawing tests without being thawed. So we've tried multiple different options of packaging and things, and so far we've only been able to do it with 60 bottles. So that's why we don't have it for less. You can get them for less in the Build-A-Box. However, if you just want to get like 2 to taste or 10 or something, you can go order any variety or a number of them in the Build-A-Box, and they work that out with other bigger bottles, like saltwater bottles and things, to help it stay frozen. And as for the mixed Craving Crusher and Skinny Boost, I actually love that idea. We don't currently do that, but I definitely do love that idea.
I agree.
Yeah, so I'll put on the list as a suggestion. Have you had both of them, Jennifer? Both the flavors? You let me know. Any other questions in the meantime? I don't think I missed anything over here, did I? No. Okay. Oh, hey, Kim. Welcome. I just saw you join. I love when I see people that I get to know. Jen, go ahead. You can ask your question. How are you, Jen? Jen's a client of mine from many years ago. You think you're muted because I can't hear anything you're saying. Jennifer Amato, do you still want to ask a question? All right, let me know because I see a hand raised, but if you're trying to talk, you're muted. I can't hear it. So, okay. What else? Do you have anything else, or should I make? Okay, done. Not unmuting. Interesting. Well, you can text it here if you want. Hi, Lisa. Hi, everyone. Can you guys see her messages in the chat? You probably can, right? Okay, so I don't have to read them to you. Great. You can ask it there, Jen. I'd love to know your guys' feedback on the products you have tried, things you're doing or what you're in the middle of, or what things you like. Oh, she didn't have a question. Okay. All right, no worries. Yeah, so I didn't have a whole lot to talk about with this call. I only planned a little bit because there were so many questions. We ran almost a half an hour over last time, so I wanted to give you guys ample time to ask your questions. But I mean, if you don't, I certainly can just off the cuff talk about some nutrition-y kind of things that might interest you. Oh, go ahead, Marlene.
I've been using Raw Generation for quite a few years, and I love it. And I have not tried the Craving Crusher things yet. I intend to. The protein, I think I hate the taste of them.
Of which?
All of them. The
Of
vanilla,
the,
the
of the
peanut,
smoothies?
the cocoa hemp. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. But I use them because I need them when I'm working out, especially. So, and I love the rest of all the other. I love them. I just don't. I don't know
Is it
what.
the specific meal shakes that you don't like? Those two flavors? Or you mean all the smoothies in general? Just those two
No,
meal shakes?
no, I like the other, all the fruit stuff, all the vegetable ones,
Okay.
all of them. They're all great. And then, but when I get to a protein one, it's like, oh man, I almost like the skinny cleanse better, but then I'm depleted and feel hungry still because I need the protein.
Right. Interesting. Are you not a fan of nuts and nut milk in general?
Pretty much.
Well, that's what they're made of. So that would definitely be off-putting if you don't like nuts or nut milk.
I just wonder. I mean, that's my only. I wanted to hear about what new products and the things because you're doing a lot of new stuff. I
Yeah.
noticed.
We are
Yeah,
always doing a lot of new stuff.
like you and all of this. I mean, what prompted all of that?
The new products.
The new everything. The new.
You guess you weren't here when you probably weren't here the first week when I talked about how I became part of the company. I'll tell you the story because it's new for a lot of people. So I actually have known the owners of the company for close to 15 years. Bill's daughter, so Bill and his daughter are the two owners of the company, Bill and Jess Geyer. And Jess and I went to high school together.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so she had called me one day. I'm a nutritionist, obviously. So she called me as a nutritionist to help her with something. And the next day, Bill called me and asked to be my client. And so he was actually my client for many years and good friend for many, many years. And about 2 years ago, their product developer, I guess, was no more. And so they asked me to come and just help out for a little while to develop some new flavors on the side. And I ended up becoming full-time here. And I've been here for 2 years working with them. So I really, and I actually knew when they started the company. So one day when I was delivering, I used to have a meal prep service. And so I was delivering meals to Bill's house. I walked in and he said, "What do you think about juicing?" "Juicing is great for you." He said, "No, can it be like a juicing business? Do you think it'd be a business?" And I'm thinking, like, you mean like a juice bar? And he said, "No, like, making juice and shipping it to people." I'm thinking, I never heard of such a thing. This is like, this is 12 years ago. This is a great idea. And then as it was 2 weeks later, I walked over and in his garage, he had this whole little setup. He's trying to juice and trying things. And that's how Raw Generation started, basically in his garage, and totally grew into the large company that we are now. So, the original sweet greens recipe, I helped them work on in the garage back then. So I've known the company and people for many, many years. And so I was a big believer, obviously, in what they do. And so then as far as the new innovation and the new products, I just came with a lot of my own ideas and just they let me have kind of free reign to come up with cool products and things that could help. Like I take what I've learned from clients over the years. I've worked with clients for at least 20 years, and I know the weight loss struggles, the allergy struggles, the digestive struggles, all the things that my clients face. And I just have tried to put my guidelines that I would give my clients into usable form for customers and our products that can, however they can help customers. And that's kind of how it's gone.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, it's great. I love what you're doing. I like the surveys.
Oh, good.
They're helpful. At least you can express yourself, and the questions are good ones. I think that they're relevant. And that's, yeah, I wondered about what is it that makes the craving crusher work? And you just explained that with the chlorophyll and
it's a concentrated chlorophyll. Yep.
yeah, because I mean, yeah, that's my thing. Sugar. I'm made of it. I love it. Addicted to it. It's terrible. And I know it's horrible.
Then it would definitely help. The craving crusher would probably help you.
Okay, I'll order.
I have a lot of questions over here. Let me see. Would you consider making more peanut butter versions of the protein? It's really funny that you said that, because I'll give you a little sneak peek of what's coming. I'm working on, so if you're familiar with our skinny cleanse and our stay skinny method, I'm working now on a protein method to come after our protein cleanse, because those people people that like to do more protein don't really have a system that works for them as well with higher protein. And I just worked on a little protein boost that's about this size, and it's a peanut butter and jelly flavor, and it's delectable. So it's coming your way. just thought of this morning, actually. So good question. You prompted me right into telling you that.
Awesome. Yay.
Have you thought of offering custom options per cleanse as opposed to just build a box option? Several allergies. Well, the thing is, in order to be able to ship to you guys in 2 days and keep everything fresh, we have multiple distribution centers around the country. So, we can't ship everything from our New Jersey, our location to get it to California in 2 days. So, we have to pre-box frozen cleanses and have them places so they can get to you in a transit time to keep them fresh and safe for you. That's why we don't have build-a-box cleanses per se, but any build-a-box order that you do comes directly out of New Jersey. So that's packed as you order it and shipped directly from here, wherever you are. And that's why you pay a little more for the build-a-box, because if we have to ship it further, everything's very custom. It's people are hand picking them and making your own box. And you can certainly design your own cleanse in the build-a-box. You just follow the cleanse number of bottles and you just would do it in the build-a-box format. That's the best way to really do it. We don't really have a build-a-cleanse option, or where you can substitute, take a sweet greens out of a cleanse and put a tart greens in instead, because that would basically be a build-a-box in our world. We really can't do that and have it be sitting in all the warehouses, all different options, because it just wouldn't be feasible, if that makes sense. I love the juices, doing the intermittent fasting trial now. Hi, Annie. My struggle is social situations. Everyone invites us out to eat. That is a struggle. Now, Super Bowl is coming and I'm headed there with my juices. Bring make some guacamole and vegetables, and bring a whole snack tray for people. You can put pretzels and stuff that they can eat, and you can have. I got through a lot of social situations by making things that everyone would like and bringing it, knowing that I could eat it. And it made me, first of all, feel less socially outcasted, but also just I knew I'd be able to eat wherever I went. So I've just always been bring food and enough for everybody to share where I go. But I'm proud of you for sticking with it. I did the cleanse. It actually helped me kick my daily cup of coffee with no withdrawal symptoms. Awesome. Which cleanse did you do? Is it the one with the greens? Because that does help with caffeine cravings for sure. And Katerina says she's going to be sharing a Super Bowl recipe via Facebook. News to me. Very cool. So go over to the Facebook group and she'll have a recipe for you there. Yes, it is. So, and that's awesome. So the greens do help with getting rid of coffee. If you're trying to get off coffee, the greens definitely helps. And I saw a bunch of hands up too. So let me see what I missed over here. Jen and Marie, I see an HG. Anyone who wants to ask a question, go right ahead. Kim.
So I had a question. I'm doing, the first question is some of the, I know with this case, I haven't really done the stay skinny method, but I understand it's a shake, kind of a shake, a juice in the morning, shake at lunch. But some of the shakes some of them do have nuts in there, correct? Or
in the stay skinny method? Yes.
Yeah. And when you've talked before about eating light to heavy and that nuts, I've kind of got in my head that nuts should be at nighttime for some reason.
They should be later in the day. They should. So that's why in the stay skinny method guidelines, I tell people to have that shake after 1 p.m., towards the later half of the day. And once you have that, you wouldn't be having fruit anymore. You'd be having that would take you to dinner and you'd be having your heavier meal at that point. You can also switch that shake out and have it as your dinner meal and have a lunch if you want to. Also, you can do it either way. But yes, nuts are in fact a heavier food. The only not blessing, but it's a little bit better when the smoothies, because there's so much water also. So they're it makes it easier to digest when they're in liquid form like that or blended into a dressing than they are when just snacking on nuts.
Okay.
So it's a little bit different, but yes, they definitely are a heavier food and should be later in the day.
Okay. And then I'm doing the intermittent fasting trial. I think I'm a week behind everybody because I started a week later because I had done a cleanse. Mm-hmm. I do think the craving thing is super helpful. I don't really need it in the morning, but at nighttime it's so helpful after 7. You've
been having the craving crusher shot at nighttime, you're saying?
Oh, no. Whatever the water thing is. Maybe I'm not saying it right. What is that?
Hunger delay?
Oh yeah, hunger delay. Sorry, I said the wrong thing. And so that's good. This week was switching to the protein, the protein. Is it that vanilla shake?
The protein pack, yeah.
The only thing with that is 2 things. I almost freaked out when I saw it was almost 500 calories. And I'm doing 11 to 7. So if I'm eating a meal with the workday and the kids at 6, it's I don't really, I'm finding that the hunger delay is better for me
and that's why there's 2 packs. So, there's, men and women that intermittent fast, and there's people that do HIIT training and more intense workouts that would want more protein. So that's why we have 2 separate options. You guys being in the trial group had both things, you probably wouldn't have ordered that one. You probably would have just ordered the original food pack if you were, a paying customer for it. But we were testing out both just to get feedback on one versus the other. But yes, correct. It's a lot of more calories. And that's for the people that either need more calories or want it or having a really long fasting. Some people who are really long fasting window and they need to sustain themselves through like 12 hours or something or more for 16 hours or even longer, and that extra protein and carbs and sugar, like, and all the protein, gets them over that hump more.
Yeah.
So, so it might not, and don't, if you feel like personally with your own goals that it's could hinder something, just don't have it. You can stick with what you, that's totally fine.
Yeah, I tried it and then I was just having a hard time with the extra calories right after a meal. But I really do love the hunger delay. And then I have one more question. So I'm having a surgery in like 2 weeks. And I was planning on, I know I'm not going to be super hungry or eating isn't going to be great. So I'm thinking of really mostly doing the juices and the protein or any kind of shake, whether or not it's a protein shake or not. I just was wondering if you had any input on that.
Tell you that post surgery, I'm assuming you'll be on antibiotics and things, and your digestion will definitely be compromised, and so will your gut flora. That's just happenstance with surgeries and antibiotics and medicine. The best thing you can do is to load up on green juices and all juices and smoothies because they're pre-digested. All of them are are blended or juice and easy to digest, and they'll be the best way to get nutrition for sure. So I couldn't recommend it more strongly. That's a great idea.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Let me see. I missed a bunch of questions over here. Let's see. My name is Holly. I'm on my son's computer. Okay. Hi, Holly. Just started my skinny cleanse this morning. How do I find the Facebook? Okay. Katarina put that. Anyone that's interested in the Facebook group, if you didn't see it in the chat, Katarina just put the link for it. So if you'd like to be part of that group, it's kind of just like a community, just to like have people to talk to that are also doing raw gen stuff. And Kat's on there all the time. She has like all kinds of cool ideas. She does like little challenges and she lets you know what's coming up and recipes and things. So and she also answers questions on the daily. So like anytime you have questions, if she doesn't know what she asks me, most of the time she answers it herself. So I'm doing the skinny method and I love it. I'm so glad to hear that. Do you love the cookies and cream is my question? Because cookies and cream is like pack to me.
The best flavor is cookies and cream.
I started October 23 to improve my lifestyle, lost weight, more energy. Thank you. What should I do when going for a 1-week vacation? How can I manage what I built? Well, you have a couple options. If you want to travel, if you're the kind of person that wants to travel with juices and maintain a routine, you can do that. Or if you're the kind of person that doesn't want to think about that, you can also maintain with healthy choices while you're away. So I'll give you both options. Our juices actually do travel very well frozen. If you put 4 of these in a gallon Ziploc and double the Ziploc for condensation's sake, they will go right through. Well, in most cases, I don't know about international, they will go right through TSA. They'll go right through. You can carry them on or put them in your luggage. They can put them in your luggage, obviously, if you want to, but carry on. They will stay frozen. If you do them right when you leave your house, they'll stay frozen right through, and they'll let you take them on frozen. Had test group members do that in the past with the Signature Reset, and they traveled no problem with our juices, so they could stay on their plan. So that's one option if you want to do that. If you don't, then I would say what I always do when I travel is I always scope out before I go, just local supermarkets or farm stands or anything like that. I don't know where you're going, somewhere tropical or somewhere cold or whatever, but there's always like a food store, a Whole Foods, a juice bar. There's always those things around. They're not that hard to find. And what I'll do is on my way in transit from the airplane to the hotel, I will stop and I will stock up on some things that I know that I can have to keep me at least mostly on track. So whether that's like room temperature fruits that can stay on the counter in your hotel, like bananas, oranges, apples, or I always also request a mini fridge to get some things that are like, perishables. I'll want to have like grapes and cut up pineapple. I'll get maybe an almond butter and I'll just like things that I know that I use when I travel so I can keep on with my system that I always use. So those 2 things I would say recommending getting a fridge in your room and scoping out the situation beforehand about where you can get some produce or juices and things like that while you're there. And also, it's not a bad idea to look at restaurants and stuff ahead of time too, so you have an idea of some places that might have healthier menu options. And then you also just make the decision in your mind, like how far do I want to take this? Like, do I want to be 80-20? Do I want to enjoy some good drinks and some good food and like the local stuff? Like I would say, like enjoy soul food while you're away and still stay on track. Just be careful not to do the whole every day, all day, and you'll still be able to stay within your goals without a problem. Can you talk a little about the No BS bar, best time to eat, how to add in, etc.? Sure. The No BS bar is primarily dates with some nuts. It's best to have that as a later in the day option. So kind of like with the smoothies. It would kind of be like, you know, a late afternoon type of a thing. It's not really caloric enough to be a meal replacement, although I know people who do use it as a meal replacement that don't tend to eat a lot. So if you're not like a really hungry kind of person in the middle of the day, you might be able to get away with it as a protein replacement. I mean, a meal replacement. I do not recommend having it as a breakfast bar or as early in the day, because it'll mess up your digestion, having those nuts early in the day like that. If you're a person who struggles with bloating or weight gain or having a hard time losing weight, I definitely would not have it early in the day. And I would even limit how often I have it in the week. I would just have it a couple, 2-3 times a week if you're trying to lose weight. If you're maintaining, it's a different story. But it's the cleanest bar I've ever seen. I've never found something similar to it in the market anywhere, and it's also delicious. So if you're looking for a clean bar, the closest thing I found is a Lara bar, and I don't think they taste even close to as good as them. So we're actually working on a brand new bar flavor, another thing coming with more protein, coming at you soon. Does your body have a set weight, like that? You know, that's a great question. And actually, yes, it does. And when you eat properly, when you eat according to your biological design, your body will automatically hit that weight and it will hopefully stop there. And I experienced this firsthand, so I'll tell you my own experience. If you don't get our daily emails and you don't know too much of my story, I don't know how new or old some of you customers are with us. But I was not always slender. I struggled majorly with my weight for the first half of my life, and that spawned me to becoming a nutritionist to find out how I could lose weight. So I totally became a nutritionist because I wanted to lose weight, and then all the health stuff came after the fact, and it became by far the more motivating factor. But initially, it was a weight loss issue for me. I grew up in an Italian household, eating delicious Italian food every day. So, like, you know, and I just always struggled. No matter what I did, I belonged to 2 different gyms. I counted every calorie. I counted every fat gram. I never, ever, though, equated my weight or my health with the ingredients in my food. I always only knew it in the confines of calories and fat grams. That's what I learned from my mother. You know, it's what I always had in my head. So I never knew that white flour was bleached and carcinogenic. Never knew white sugar could cause cancer. I never knew any of those kinds of things. And I read a book. It was actually called What Would Jesus Eat? If you care to know, people always ask me. I read that book, and it literally changed my life. I read the book in one night. I was in a hotel in Nashville, and I read it overnight and never touched white flour or white sugar again from that day because it had such an impact on me. And it was from that book that I later became really interested in nutrition, holistic nutrition specifically, and changed my whole degree field over to nutrition from what I was doing prior, and became a nutritionist. So, and when I learned how to properly feed my body, the weight just came off, effortlessly. And from a young person who really, really struggled, and I mean struggled to maintain the size that at the time I was struggling to maintain the size 8 for my frame. And you currently see me as like a size 2. If you care about sizes, that's just to give you a reference of, I don't weigh myself. I don't believe in it, but that's just to give you an idea of my clothing size. It naturally happened within 3 months, and I've never, ever, that's never been an issue again since, as long as I fed my body properly. I've never had to think about, I no longer think about calories. I don't think about portion control. I don't think about what time of the day that I eat. I just eat properly, the right foods in the right order. That's what I teach you in the Stay Skinny method and the signature reset. I would teach what I've taught my clients for years and years. And it's worked without fail for anyone that's done it properly. Because your body does know. Your body will tell you when you're at the right, it won't get you too skinny, and it won't have you stay too heavy if you eat properly. And that means not over restricting calories. You know, when I calorie restricted for the first half of my life, you know, I maybe would have 1,200 calories a day, maybe, and I would work out for a couple hours. And now I easily, without question, eat 3,000 calories a day or more. I don't even think twice about it. Like, I eat like more than anybody that I know. And I have 0 weight issues whatsoever. So if that gives you any kind of an idea or motivation, it works. Let's see, what did I miss? No, I didn't miss any, I don't think. But I see lots of hands up, so
I had my hand up just to add to that.
go ahead, Kat.
I have a similar story as Lisa. I was a little heavier at a point in my life, and I wound up losing some weight and correcting some health issues by doing a whole foods diet. And this is why we really don't recommend counting calories, because you can have something, let's say a banana is 110 calories and a tasty cake's 110 calories. The banana is something that's going to nourish you, whereas the tasty cake is 110 calories of sugar, unbleached flour, chemical additives, preservatives, dyes, the whole shebang. So I just wanted to add to that.
Very, very true. Calories are not equal. All calories are not created equal. But don't care what anybody tells you. It's not calories in versus calories out when it comes to weight loss or health. It's just not true. Not for the majority of people that I've ever worked with anyway. What did I just see? Another question. Do you gradually build up to a higher calorie intake? What you gradually build up to is eating more fresh foods. So it's a larger volume. So for example, you eat, maybe your breakfast is bacon, egg, and cheese. I don't know what it is. Maybe you're having 6 or 7 or 800 calories in a meal. If I'm eating the majority of my calories from fresh fruits and vegetables, which I do, I eat a mostly raw diet. I eat some cooked foods, but I eat predominantly a raw vegetable and fruit diet. I might eat 6 or 8 oranges in one sitting and think nothing of it. I actually just did it. I was on a plane coming home from Florida yesterday, and I cut up 8 oranges and I ate them on the plane sitting there. Like, it's very common for me. I do it all the time. And the reason for that is because I'm replacing unhealthy calories with healthy calories. I still need the same amount of calories to function that you need. I mean, we all need the same kind of calories. We all need calories for fuel, right? So it's all about the efficiency of the calories you eat and what you choose to feed your body, and that's how it's processed. So I'm getting sugar from fruit sugar. I never get sugar from refined sugar. When you get sugar from refined sugar, you gain weight. You might get diabetes. You might get cancer. Who knows the things that might happen? All the kinds of diseases that we have that are food related. When you eat them from fruit sugar, it just doesn't happen. It's they heal your body. They don't hurt your body. Every bite you eat can heal or hurt you. And that's what I always tell my clients. You can choose every bite that you eat to either be healing to your body or hurtful to your body. Like when I used to give them examples, I would say, like, I don't know, do you guys remember the restaurant for 2 G's? Like, I used to love that place. It's gone now, but it's like an Italian like chain. And they had these like pizza dough rolls that I used to be addicted to back in the day. And I would use this example and I would say, you can think about this like, I'm going to cheat on Lisa's diet and I'm going to have one of these rolls. Or you can just think, I don't want to feed myself diabetes. I don't want to feed myself cancer. I just want to eat life-giving, healthy foods. And you can make that choice in that moment to make an educated choice. And sometimes you just want to have it and you have it and you don't think twice about it, or you make the choice that I'm going to be conscious in how I eat today. So it's not a matter of cheating on a diet. I don't believe in dieting or cheating. I believe in like a lifestyle choice, lifestyles that you make in a lifestyle. You have to choose what will work for you for the long term. So like a cleanse isn't a lifestyle. A cleanse is a short-term window to a healthier lifestyle. It resets your taste buds. It helps cleanse your palate. It helps you lose some initial weight. It helps just your body to feel clearer. But that's not where it ends. Because if you go back to eating how you ate, the weight comes back on, the symptoms come back, the brain fog comes back, whatever things you were dealing with come back. If you continue a healthier lifestyle from that point on, that's the point. But the point is to grow into a healthier lifestyle, and a lifestyle that you can maintain. So whether that means 80% of the time you eat clean, 20% of the time you have fun, that's your lifestyle. And you'll feel a lot better than you probably feel now doing 50-50 or yo-yoing up and down and doing extreme one day. And, it's never good to be an extremist with anything. It's good to always be like in moderation with how you attack, in my opinion, all things in life, but especially like with food, because you're just going to end up restrict yourself. You're going to end up hurting yourself in the long run because you're going to fail. People aren't meant to be restricted like that. And if you restrict calories or carbohydrates, your body is going to tell you with cravings and bad symptoms that you need those things. You can't restrict carbs. You can't restrict sugar. You need them as much as you need protein. Actually, you need them more than you need protein. We're like a protein-focused culture, but really we should be a carb-focused culture, healthy carb-focused. You should be having 80 to 90% of your calories every day from fresh carbs, fruit, vegetable, carbohydrates. That's what we're meant to eat. I'm on a roll. I'm talking probably really fast to get on this roll. So who am I missing? Kim looks like her hand up, and Jen, or did you already? Are these old ones?
I have a question once Jen wants to go.
Okay, go ahead.
So my first question was about thawing the juices. And I've been doing this and I just want to know if it's really not a good idea.
Oh.
But sometimes when they're frozen, I'll just thaw them because I'm not the best at planning ahead, but I'll thaw them in like cool water until they get a little, is that okay to do? Sort of like what you do with chicken? Like if it's in a package, you can kind of thaw it in like cooler water. Is that okay, or am I compromising the juices at all?
From a safety standpoint, we can't tell you to do that. Inherently, I don't think there's anything unhealthy about doing that as long as it stays cold. And you do it like, you'll leave it sitting there for too long at room temperature.
Okay.
But we have to recommend what we recommend because it's the only safe way to defrost juices. There are lots of ways you could defrost our juices and they're actually still totally fine. But we can't safely tell you that. So we have to kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I forgot my second question, so I'll come back if I think of it.
I've been doing the signature reset for almost a month. I didn't really have a wow, I feel great moment. However, the last 2 days I've been having a crap time and didn't follow the new eating habits at all. I ended up with a massive migraine, exhausted, and stomach aches. So while not a great thing to do or feeling, I'm kind of glad I did it because now I really understand just how big of a difference the research has made for me. Awesome. Isn't that funny how that happens? Sometimes you don't realize until you go back to an old habit how it might affect you. When your body the cleaner your body gets, the more things affect you that didn't in the past. Like we were just talking today about caffeine. Like I used to love cappuccino and espresso, but now if I have caffeine, I get a migraine from it because my body's gotten too clean, I guess, to handle a chemical stimulant like that. And it's similar with sugars and dairy. And when you cut those things out for any length of time, they're toxic to your body. That's why you have a negative reaction when you put them back in at first. It's not because, we're not really meant to eat those things. We just are humans and we adapt and we are able to eat those things. And when your body's in a state of toxicity and you're always having those things, you don't notice how they do.
You don't know what it feels like to be healthy if you're constantly eating junk. So when you remove the junk and then you have it again, your body is like signaling like, I don't like this. I don't want this in my system.
Yeah. Did you figure out your other question, Kim? It says your hand is still raised. Okay.
Yes, I did. Okay, so this might be a silly question, but you talk about the 80-20, which I like because it's hard to be, nobody's perfect, but is it okay to do 80-20? Like I'm really good Monday through Friday, but come the weekend, I'm not going to go binging or anything like that. But if I let loose on the weekend, is that following the 80-20 rule?
Well, it depends. So everyone's 80-20 is going to be different. So sometimes 80-20 means they have a couple days a month where they just splurge and don't think about eating clean, or it means a few meals a month where you go out and you have fun with your friends or whatever. If it's the entire weekend, every weekend, that's different than your routine, I would say that you're setting yourself up for failure with that mentality. I would say I would try to do the best you can do maybe half of the day those days and enjoy your dinners, or maybe pick one day to not think about it, one meal, or drinks or whatever. Because if you get off, like say you're used to having green juice every day, and on weekends you just don't, you're going to have to kind of reset every Monday. Like then you're setting yourself up to always having to reset. That should just be your routine. Like my routine is that I have green juice every day, or if I'm home. If you're not home, then obviously you're not home. But so I wouldn't make the full weekend your 20. That's a lot to reset all the time, and your taste buds too. Because what happens also is that if you keep those toxic kind of foods in your taste buds, your body will continue to crave them, and you have to uncrave yourself from them. That there's excitotoxins in foods. It's called, like say in a Dorito, for example, there's unnatural chemicals that actually expand your taste buds. They physically expand the taste receptors on your tongue to be larger than they should be, which is why you get that like burst of like Cool Ranch or Dorito flavor. You can't get that from a carrot. They don't have excitotoxins. Companies put these excitotoxins in to make their foods taste so appealing and like, wow. And then you crave them. They unnaturally make you crave them. The same thing happens with refined sugar. So if your 20 includes those things, which it certainly can, the more you do that, the more you're going to have to reset your taste buds again to not want those things. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I'm probably not going as wild as I said. I mean, I'm still having the juices, and it's just maybe nighttime we'll order out, and not.
And that's what it should be. That should be living your life and having a normal life to maintain. Because with it just will never happen. It's always going to happen. Social things are going to come up, holidays are going to happen, family events, you want to do things with your kids, you want to have ice cream with your family, like that has to happen because that's soul food. That's like part of living, and if you're doing well the rest of the time, you're still healthier for your body, you're still losing weight, maybe at a little bit of a slower pace, but you're still getting to your goals, and you should still be feeling pretty good. And if you don't feel good, that's another story. Like if you do those things and you indulge and you feel crappy after, then maybe you don't want to do it as often because your body's telling you, oh, I really can't tolerate this anymore.
Yeah. And I will say the green juices, if nobody has experience, they are very good. If you have indulged in drinks the night before, they are great.
Great hangover.
Great resetting the next day.
So is our cocoa water. It's like full of electrolytes for hangovers. Can confirm.
What did I miss? Here we go. Yes, they do. What are your thoughts on coconut flour? I read it's simply dried coconut meat. Does that mean Kat, have you ever used coconut flour? I have never cooked with it.
When I was baking a lot of healthier options, when I first got into the health sphere, I was using coconut flour. I personally did not love the flavor it gave. But as far as nutritionals, as long as it's plain coconut flour, I think it should be fine. I don't know that it's going to give you the same nutrients as eating a fresh coconut. Obviously, that's ideal, but it's going to be a better option than using like a white flour that's riddled with chemicals and toxins. So, but when I was baking, I preferred organic oat flour. That was my gluten-free staple for a lot of meals. So as long as I mean, Lisa, the ball's in your court with this. I guess if you're having a special occasion or someone's birthday and you want to bake, I would go with the organic oat flour over the coconut flour personally for flavor.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I mean, for me, I changed over my diet almost like 19 years ago, and I haven't used a lot of the newer products on the market now. Like I haven't used like diet plant-based cheese, and like I haven't used like, oh, this wasn't around when I last ate those foods. So I don't have as much experience using them, which is why I defer to you, because I know you have. But as far as like a nutritional standpoint, it's not going to be the same as eating coconut. There's just no possible way. Nothing dried or fractionated is the same as the fresh food.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it is, yes, I would say it's probably just from us looking at more nutritionally robust than any kind of white flour would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was another question about powdered wheatgrass supplements. It got lost in there. It says, what are your thoughts on powdered wheatgrass and supplements?
Okay, well, I will tell you that as a nutritionist, I did not specialize in the supplement field intentionally because I don't like fractionated nutrition. However, there are use cases where it's very beneficial if a person physically can't or won't eat the right foods. Like if you can't digest properly or get in your nutrition properly, or you just don't want to. I'll use my brother as an example. My brother is like the polar opposite of me. He hates fruit. I live on fruit. He hates fruit. He always has his whole life. He will not eat any, and he doesn't eat a really clean diet most of the time. And so he was getting sick a lot in college, and I got him Garden of Life. I stand by that brand as a phenomenal supplement brand. Garden of Life, green capsules at the time. They were concentrated, and he started popping 2 of those every day. And God is my witness, never got sick again the rest of college with those pills. So I do believe that a potent, good company is worth their salt and worth their weight as a supplement. However, most supplement companies are garbage. There's no FDA regulation on supplements. They don't have to disclose what they're putting in. You could be getting 10% of the ingredient they're calling out you're getting, and there's no regulation. So there's nothing to say that they are or they aren't. So I inherently don't trust most of them. I would go to like a natural herbalist, or I would do a company. Like I trust that company now because I've seen for myself how well it worked. So I believe that I stand by what they do. They must have integrity as a company, and their products are raw. So that means they're not using high heat to get the nutrients extracted. So they're keeping them more intact without using high heat. So that's my feeling on that. As far as powdered wheatgrass or wheatgrass supplements, I have never been a wheatgrass user. I have always been from the school of thought, like if I wouldn't eat it in nature, if it does not appeal to my senses naturally, I don't eat it. That's like called natural hygiene. It's like a very back to basics way of eating. So like if you just kind of put yourself like in nature, like if you were just put there, what would you incline towards? Would you incline towards like killing a rabbit and trying to eat, or would you incline towards the orange tree and just eat as many oranges as you could eat off the tree? It would smell good. It would taste good. It'd be easy for your hands to peel. Like it's very back to basics. And I did that because when I was in school, there was so much conflicting information, like from class to class. One would say soy is great. One would say soy is GMO. Don't touch the soy. And I was so confused after school and during school that I did not even know what was right or what was wrong. And so to me, taking it back to just the basics of like what the human biological design is to eat and what we would naturally like be naturally appealing without it being adulterated made sense to me. So wheatgrass to me never was appealing in its natural state. So I never became a wheatgrass user or pusher. However, people have done great with it and have had like a lot of holistic healing and stuff happen with it. So I'm not the best to speak to that. So I can't say I have a strong opinion one way or another. I just have never used it personally. I don't in a powdered form, but I would not recommend. I would definitely just use like, if you're going to use it, I would use a real juiced wheatgrass. It's always, better.
Yeah. A local juice bar will typically have that. I don't know where you are in the States, but they'll typically have wheatgrass shots, and that's definitely better than a pill.
Oh, nice. And if you didn't see it, Katerina posted the oat flour that she liked. So if you're interested in what she used, it's right there for you.
Yeah, and I'm pulling up one that isn't from Thrive just in case you don't have a Thrive account. So
she's the best. And we still have a little time left. If there's more questions, I know I think I hit them all, but if I missed some, ask me again. Oh, you're welcome, Bridget. I'm glad you're getting a lot out of them. I have a pretty rigorous workout schedule and just started the skinny cleanse for weight loss. Should I take a little more slowly these days? Yes. If your workout schedule is rigorous, do not do it with the skinny cleanse. It's just not enough calories to sustain, not enough protein, calories, or sugar or anything to sustain. And you can do one of two things. You can either majorly taper back your workouts to do more like calisthenics, walking, stretching kind of stuff, or you could supplement your cleanse. You could add more calories from like bananas and things like that have a little more protein, more bulk to them, and then you could sustain your workouts more easily.
Yeah, and as a woman, like just because of our cyclical nature, it's not good to over stress your body. Like so much, especially when you're cleansing, because it's already, cleanses can be gentle, but you're already not eating. So you're just going to push yourself over the edge. So to second what Lisa was saying, walking is definitely like a great option.
I started January 1st and have lost 20 pounds. Awesome. What did you do, Megan? What did you start with? Was it the signature reset or what was it?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, talk, definitely.
Yeah, I'm on the signature reset and I'm part of the trial group.
Oh, great. So you've been using the intermittent fasting along with the signature reset and it's been working okay for you?
Yes. And I'm very used to intermittent fasting and don't have a problem with it. So that's been easy to add on just because of I have 2 kids and our schedule. So that's been really well. But yeah, it's all the juices are great. Everything's been going really well and it's encouraging to see results. It's slowed down after that first week, obviously, but I just weigh every week for myself, like, okay, you're doing good. Keep at it. Don't stop. So it's been really great.
That's great. 20 pounds is awesome already. So you're a month in and already lost the 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that is amazing.
Do you want to share a little bit how you're structuring your day? I'd be interested to hear how you're doing it.
I have them all written down. So when I did because at first I just did the cleanses and I didn't need all 6 juices. So just kind of saved some of them, but then really did a juice in the morning, a smoothie at night, or a smoothie for lunch. Wasn't eating lunch at all. And then having a healthier dinner. And we've kind of we eat pretty well, but so I cut out all energy drinks, sodas. Coffee only has honey in it now.
Nice.
Amazing.
And no fried food, no fast food, no energy drinks, which I was a huge on energy drinks. I would have 1, maybe 2 a day. I just love the flavor. I love the taste. I don't necessarily need the energy, but I just like them. So, but I found that the sweetness that from the juice kind of covers me on that. I don't feel like I need them or want them. I don't crave them.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you feel like you're craving any of your old foods?
No.
You content?
Nope, I'm very content. And then the coffee, I'd never thought in a million years I could go without my creamer. And what we did was slowly backed into it. So I used to use a coconut creamer that I just loved and would put probably half coffee, half creamer because I swore I didn't like coffee. And then we just slowly backed it out and then went to monk fruit sugar. And my husband, he didn't really like that. Felt it was messing with his stomach. And so then we slowly backed out of that and went to the honey. And that's been awesome. We love it. So we just do the black coffee with the honey.
It's good, right?
Yeah, it is very good.
Just make sure it's raw honey because the honey that's in the bear is usually riddled with corn syrup.
No bear honey.
Good.
We're doing bear honey. We're doing the raw and local to help with allergies.
Oh, amazing. That's awesome.
There you go. So what did I miss? Oh, Kat just posted a non-thrive oat flour also in there if you want.
Yeah, that one's not organic. So personally, I prefer organic with oats just because of the glyphosate and whatnot. But if you're going to be baking once in a while, again, 80-20, pick and choose your battles.
For sure. Yeah. I think we got through every question so far, unless there's any like last minute stragglers or.
I actually have a question for you guys. So since I'm running the Facebook group, I just want your feedback and I want to know if there's anything that you want to see in particular. I know you guys were really active on one of the posts about how much weight you lost and I loved it. So I would just like to know if there's anything you want to see more of, if you want to see recipes, food advice, ingredient advice in the grocery store.
Now's your chance.
I don't have Facebook. Is there a way to do that on Instagram as opposed to Facebook to do more? Because I heard you talking earlier about challenges and stuff.
So we actually are in the process of reworking our Instagram. So maybe we can talk about that in a meeting, Lisa.
Okay. I don't do a lot of social media, so I only have we don't have it at all, except I do have an Instagram for the kids. That's how the schools communicate nowadays.
Okay.
And so I did follow y'all. So I don't do a lot of social media, but just I look at it when y'all do post stuff.
Okay.
We could definitely do some more there. We can actually make the content go hand in hand with Facebook on there. If we do the recipes and things there, we can bring them both places.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that'd be great.
Cool. Thanks for your suggestion, guys. These are great.
There's a bunch of things there in the chat for you, Kat.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Vitor. Polls on favorite flavors as options to try new ones. Oh yeah.
Oh, cool. I love that idea.
Oh dear, I like that too.
You guys are the best.
Pictures. I love connecting with you guys every month. I look forward to this call every month.
Yeah,
So,
me too.
you're a great group. Well, if nothing else from you guys, this is going to be, well, you're all seeing it, but this will be recorded. I actually remembered last time I forgot to record it. I felt so bad for the people that didn't make it. I'm like, oh boy, that's on me.
Yeah, I reminded her a little too late, so I take responsibility for that one.
She's made their brain. But this one is recorded, so you'll be getting the recording. If you do watch things again, if you want to see the the links and stuff again, you can watch it again, and that'll be in there for you. Will you get monthly emails? Yes, you'll be getting an email next month. It's always the first Wednesday of every month at 1 p.m. Eastern time. That's all they all are. So you'll be getting the email for next month. Yep. And if you ever, if you guys ever have like questions, you can always email me, and I can always incorporate things you want to hear into my discussions that I plan ahead. Like I said, I planned more of the last two calls, not anticipating a vast number of questions in the conversation, which I love. I'd rather be more about your conversations and questions, because that's really what you guys need. Kind of pick a topic, and kind of this time I just planned a little short time to talk, so I could just give you guys time to really talk, but if there's something you're interested in, do I do daily email? Yes. So if you sign up for our emails, I write every one. They all come directly from me to the customers. So of course, some are product related, but they're still me writing them about our products, the nutritional value of our products. But a lot of them are just nutrition information that I send. So yeah, every daily email comes directly from me to you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of great questions. Okay, so guys, I hope you have a great month till I see you again, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Yes.
And
Really good.
don't be afraid to post on Facebook. If you want to do before and afters, feel free. Whatever you're comfortable with, don't be afraid to post. We love the engagement.
Yeah, it's fun.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.